Hey everyone, this is my reaction to the 12th and final episode of Kemurikusa. So, last episode, a lot was dropped on us, to be honest. We looked into the memory leaf and we got to see the first person, what they were like, and they knew Wakaba, pretty well. We found out Wakaba's origin, who's basically like an alien that came to Earth to use Kemurikusa to make islands, but kind of floating above Earth, I think they are. Because, I think the island's supposed to be like floating above Earth. Anyway, he makes those with the Kemurikusa, and that's what he does. He's a scientist that works with them. He likes them. That's where his passion for them comes from, that we see from the modern Wakaba. And really is actually a human, or Earthling as he calls her, which was the biggest hint that he was an alien. She, I guess, got like sucked into machinery and reborn through water, and then he just kind of kept her up there with him after that. Which I guess is similar to what happens to Wakaba, because he pops up out of water as well, in the first episode. So I guess it was something similar there. But anyway, that's something, of course, but we also get to see exactly where the red tree came from. We had really make a Kemurikusa specifically designed to be able to destroy other Kemurikusa. That is a very dangerous thing to make. But she did it with, good intentions, of course, but that doesn't make it any less horrific, because that thing cannot easily be stopped. It does a lot of damage. Wakaba basically sacrifices himself to try to stop it, and that doesn't work too well. And we see what happens to Wakaba eventually later on. He comes back without memories and stuff. But then she really, the first person kind of ran away. She got her Kemurikusa out and kind of combined them and basically used them to turn herself into a Kemurikusa, but like split into all of our Rins and stuff. And it's all pretty complicated, because we talked about using Kemurikusa on humans and how it's kind of, they didn't really use the word unpredictable, but it's, it can alter humans, erase memories, things like that. And since she is a genius, she would be able to do something with that in an emergency situation. So she basically does that. She turns herself into the 6 Rins, and the one thing I'm a little bit confused about is why they're red. I assume that she messed with the combination and stuff to make it where like it was red enough to where it wouldn't be like susceptible to the Kemurikusa destroying nature of like the the red tree. Like how the fog and stuff like they like takes over the Nushi and stuff and makes them all red and like controls them. I guess she made herself red to avoid being susceptible to that. That's what I assume. I don't know, because it was weird otherwise why she would deliberately make herself red, but I think that's the logic there. But that was pretty much the last episode. That was basically the origin of everything. The Rins, the evil red tree that we're fighting, the islands. Basically, most of the world building that was like really important was in that episode, so it was a lot to take in, to be sure. But also, something that, I definitely dropped the ball on this. I did not realize that the whole yelling to run away thing was being heard by Rin in like the modern day. Like that wasn't part of the flashback. That just didn't register with me at all. It should have. It was obvious upon a second watching, but I did not get that at first. My bad. But and we got to see what that was about. Wakaba tried to defend the unconscious Rin from the Red Root, and it seemingly sacrificed himself there as well, which is pretty unfortunate. But I don't know if how bad that really is, because there is kind of a precedent with characters coming back. Wakaba sacrificed himself before and then came back to the water, so he might be able to do something similar, again, just maybe without memories, which would be unfortunate. But I don't know. I don't know how bad that is just yet. We'll have to see the episode to find out, of course. But really the first person. She's not literally the first person, but she was the first person to like be on the islands, and she's what originated the Rin, so that's why they call her that, I guess. But I'm a little bit confused why the Rins can only use Midori as a Kemurikusa, and they were like shocked that that Wakaba could use the other Kemurikusa. I don't know if it just matter they don't know how to do it, because they did say something in the last episode. They said something about control, like adults only on some of the Kemurikusa and stuff, but didn't really turn herself into Kemurikusa to bypass that requirement, so I would think that would not be the reason why that they can only use Midori. I don't know. That's a little, some of that stuff I'm still a little bit confused about. But I do get most of it at the very least. I get most of it. That's what matters. And yeah, hopefully things work out from here. You know, maybe Wakaba's not as dead as he looks. You know, maybe we can just put a bandit on him and it'll be fine. Who knows? But yeah, last episode was really good, very interesting, and gave us a lot of answers. And we'll see how the show ends with this episode. So let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, this is how it happens. Yeah, that's the line that Rin ignored, and I basically ignored too. And we know how this is gonna end, unfortunately. Why was it specifically going for Rin and not Wakaba? He's right there. Not to imply anything, but he's right there. Yeah, he's clearly prioritizing Rin. Well, that got his attention, alright. I think looks so alien too. Yeah, what exactly do you manage to accomplish before you're taken down? Do you actually destroy it or at least damage it a lot? That's what it does. It destroys Kemurikusa. Which, yeah, I guess that's why I would go after Rin. Never mind. I guess that should be obvious. I guess that's why I would prioritize Rin. It's right there, though. You might want to watch out. Okay, so I guess that's the last thing he did. Yeah, that looks really bad. And then the opening. Yeah, so it doesn't look like he accomplished too much before getting taken down, fortunately. But last episode also talked about how the red fog stopped other Kemurikusa from growing. So that's that's part of the reason why it's just the red one is so predominant in the world. All I really have is Midori because it's just kind of where the red fog's not so bad. And also, the Rins being part of Riri, that also explains why they all like Wakaba so much. So that's actually a good thing. Because, you know, it's kind of bad writing to just have every girl really like Wakaba because he's, you know, the only guy there, the male protagonist. But if they all stem from a person that already liked Wakaba, that makes a lot more sense and it's better writing. So I definitely like that reveal there. I kind of wanted to point that out. Because that's much more easy to swallow if that's the case. So I do like that a lot. That little fact almost makes me want to give the show an extra point in my overall score. So that's how big of a deal I find that. It also makes sense why Rin's is a little bit confused about her feelings because they come from, like, the first person, technically. Oh yeah, that looks even worse from this shot. I thought he was at least feet on the ground. But Rin, don't lose control too much and let your guard down and get stabbed. Because if you get stabbed like that, then it's over. You're like the only one left. Okay, he's still breathing. He's still alive. So just get a band-aid on it, Rin. But don't get distracted. He is not okay at all. Okay. I guess I would make things better. So definitely not as bad as it made it look. Okay. And we got plenty. Please do. Yeah, he doesn't know who Diddy is. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think he did see the memory leap stuff. I actually don't remember. But yeah, this is the final encounter. This is where we make our stand. Wakaba is at least here to help, so which is more than I expected from this episode. I thought at best he would have been set down over somewhere safe to recover while Rin does everything. Okay. Our last Midori. Kind of sad to say, but... Platform cubes. They're so helpful. Now punch it, Rin. Show it who's boss. That was a good punch. Was it enough? I don't think so, unfortunately. I don't know what we do now, if punching it didn't work. Okay. Well, that's not good. Wakaba, can you, like, chop that real quick? So much red fog, it's gotta be unpleasant. What are you doing, Wakaba? It looks impressive. I hope it does something good. It got at least got it to let go of Rin, so that's good. So can you do anything directly? Yeah, dodge. Ow. Oh god, ow. Come on, Wakaba, can't take much more of this abuse. That thing really is terrifying. Of course, Wakaba does that. History repeats itself. So we are get to continue this bit. Gotta reinforce the weakened parts. They're kind of steaming. Just to let you know. Yeah, it doesn't help when they can't read it. Most of them can't read it. Good. Can we find him, or... Oh, that doesn't look good. Yeah, but he'll be fine. Sort of. He comes back. Not for nothing, you're able to fight against the red Kemurikusa with the Rin group, working together with the reincarnation of Wakaba. It's not pointless. Okay, so that explains that. Why some of it was erased. So basically just, yeah, just do what they want, not to be bound by any sort of overarching goal. Okay, so that explains that too. That explains why they weren't, like, super determined to save Wakaba or anything when they first saw the Rins. Oh no, that doesn't look good. That definitely doesn't look good. Quick, Rin, I got water. Drink, drink. Not gonna work like that, is it? It just frustrated me because I have what she needs right here. I can't give it to her without ruining my computer. I'm only half joking with that. Well, Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. The thing that might be implying there that the love for Wakaba section of really went mostly to Rin, which would make sense. Because the personality was split into the different parts. That would explain why it was mostly focused on Rin, the romance thing. Which way your feet are pointed. You want to defeat the Red Tree and save Wakaba. Yeah, this is looking pretty bad. Just leave them alone, please, bugs. It's not okay, though. None of this is okay. Okay. At least we get a little bit of help with that. Well, she looks a bit more charged. So that was an impact. Okay, this time it's on. We're gonna take you down, you overgrown plant. Oh, nice slide. Ooh. Nice. Man, Rin really is pretty powerful right now. Just jumping and slicing like a powerful warrior. I mean, I don't know what I was gonna follow that up with. Come on, just keep moving forward. This thing must be stopped. Oof. Ow. Slice it again. Or dodge, either one's fine. Come on, you're still not close enough. Well, that didn't do a lot. Ooh, those death rays. Gotta dodge them. Ow! Just, the arm. Ugh. Can we grow that back? Oh, this is just... not the leg, too. That's gonna make it really hard to get closer. We might be done here. This is really bad. Oh. Oh, what? Well, that's good. They finally show up when they really needed to show up. Oh, it's because you figured it out, that's why you showed up. Yeah, all three of them, you're definitely a sight for sore eyes. Yeah, couldn't you tell? Man, those legs. It's been a rough few days. Been a rough couple episodes, rather. Okay, let's see what you girls can do. On the this family reunion, but we got stuff to do. It really is. I agree with everything you just said. Oh yeah, she could do that cool stuff. Like, I think one of them could use lightning, which I think was her. Because they like target practice with Wakaba. That is really useful. Yeah, that's a lightning I'm talking about. She can do that. Which is really cool. Not moving a lot. Who cares what's interesting? It's gotta be taken care of one way or the other. Is that a shield? Can it block a blast from that thing? Well... Well, if it wasn't a shield, what was it? Okay, okay, that's what it was. Here we go, you're up. That's a weapon right there. Very skillful. Is that all you got? This is how good I am with my eyes closed. Okay, good job. I think we're actually doing some real... We're really making progress here. How are you running? Didn't you lose a leg? I could have swore you lost a leg. I guess we just grew it back, or I just saw it wrong, one of the two. Either way, let's go. Yeah, because she grew her arm back too, so... Because I'm sure she lost an arm. Boom! There we go. Let's see how you like Midori. Wakaba, grab my hand so you don't fall to your death. Ow. Well, I think we fell anyway. She's got him. Okay, it's all good. We have our healing green aura, so... It's a good thing we have that, because Wakaba's took a lot of damage past couple episodes. They did not have to reborn him through water, which is nice. There's not a lot of water around here. Well, it wasn't just her. She used her three, you know, amazing sisters to help. And the other sisters, too, kind of helped as well, so. Of course, you know. Oh. Wow, she actually just hugged him. A little bit surprising, but at the same time, not very surprising. Blushing. Oh my god, a girl's touching me. Thank you, but I don't like the fact that you look like you're fading away. I don't want all the sisters to fade away. I know, right? There you go. I don't want it to be it for you. I wanted you to stick around. Yeah, but that doesn't make it okay for you to be gone forever. Yeah, one job, Rin, do that. You know, unless they fade away too, which I'm hoping they don't. I do not want to lose 90% of the sisters. Barely hear that. Probably because usually have my volume like at half level, so it'd make it easier to talk over it. It's fine, I guess, but we lost our sisters again. Oh wow, you really did it. Well, I'm sure the remaining ones probably disappeared once the tree died. Okay. What? Okay, I didn't know there was a connection there, but okay. Beep beep, indeed. Okay. We can talk normal now. You could always talk normal if you wanted to. That is a problem. We still need water, and the red tree absorbed everything nearby, so... Fishy! Kemurikusa fishy. Oh yeah, that's the type that searches out water, right? Let's follow it. There's no trying to grab his butt, Rin, when you gotta find water. Well then come with us, but we gotta go find water. It might be through that giant crevice that just popped up. Don't know how long that's been there, but you think you would have noticed that before? What, you can't just end like that. This is the last episode. Yeah, you can totally see like transparent skirt thing, which I know is in this episode. Ritsu, Rina, Ryo, Ryoku, just all those similar names. In our many arenas. But yeah, I mean, the big tree is defeated, so it's a happy ending if we can find some water. So again, I have water, just ask for it. I will give you some of my water, Rin. Seriously, it's a legit offer. All I ask for in return is a hug. That's all I want. Seems like a good deal to me. But it must be at least a minute-long hug. And you can't complain about wandering hands. But that's the deal. And yeah, there's the crevice we saw at the end. But I assume there's water on the other side of that opening. And, well, there you go, waterfall. That's water, all right. Yeah, it's a nice place. Much better than the red foggy area we were in not too that long ago. I guess we are. Wow, this is that's something I ever thought I would see in this show. This is like real ground. Yeah, it would be pretty overwhelming. So much water. Gotta quick bring our other sisters here. I think we're all glad. This was a pretty happy ending for the most part. You gonna say she... There you go. I had a feeling that's what she was gonna say there. And that's the line we end off on, okay. Okay. Yeah, that was the 12th episode, 12th and final episode of Kemurikusa. And this was a pretty good episode. Wakaba, I am a little bit upset with how that they teased that Wakaba thing being more serious than it actually was. Last episode was like, oh, Wakaba, he's basically dead. Oh no. Oh, no worry, I had a Midori leaf and everything. I'm all good. Let me help you fight. Like, yeah, I take a little bit issue with that. But it's probably the only real big complaint with the episode. And we did our best to fight against this thing. Wakaba helping, because he's got his Kemurikusa that he could use. And we got a little bit of an extension on that one flashback. Got to see why some of it was erased, which was a question from before. And we got to see... What was the other... I know there was another question that was answered by that. I had to think about that. Yeah, I mean, that explains why they did not really know Wakaba at all, and how that was not part of their goal at all. but there were still some lingering feelings for Wakaba in the characters, I'm sure. Like, you know, although they did talk about how, well, they kind of implied that the main feelings for Wakaba did land in Rin. Although it seemed like they were also trying to imply that it's not just that Rin is also, you know, herself falling in love with Wakaba. I think they were also trying to push that as well, but I think it's both, you know. At least that's how I interpreted it. But anyway, yeah, we fought this thing. Wakaba got into a bit of trouble, you know, get some more damage on him, but it's fine. We can just heal it with Midori leaves. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, Rin really was doing her best, kind of struggling. Got some help from the sisters, you know. They were like, I don't know, did they like channel energy into her or something? You know, when she started to glow and went forward to really fight. I guess that's what happened there. But anyway, yeah, she was doing pretty well. They're just running, dodging, slicing, and doing pretty good. However, then she started to lose limbs, and it kind of went downhill. But then the other sisters that live like within the memory leaf kind of popped up and was like, "Hey, Rin, is this the best you've got? What are you doing, losing like this? Don't worry, we got this. We'll help out. Let's go." And they did, and it was all pretty cool to watch. You got one of them flying up in the air. You got one of them setting up, I don't know, some sort of like glass type amplifier, like, you know, like a magnifying glass light type thing. I think that's what she was doing. Anyway, to like blast it, which was pretty cool too. And then we had the other one with like her chain, like not chain, her pipe, you know, with like energy on that, like kind of wiggling that around. That was cool too. But yeah, I did definitely like seeing them fight. You know, getting to see the lightning again was cool. And, you know, it was kind of funny in the one flashback because you talked about how, you know, leaving these notes behind for them to read. And then I'm just sitting here like, they can't read, though. Pretty sure only the glasses one and Wakaba, of course, could actually read. So that was kind of funny. And she's not actually, you know, in the main show. She's just kind of hiding in the memory leaf. That was funny. But somehow Rin grows her arm and leg back, you know, runs towards it, gets up close, and bam! Finally takes this bad boy down. And then it's all over. Unfortunately, our one and done sister has kind of faded away, which is unfortunate. But you know, it's not really surprising. I think they talked about that before anyway. They said something before like, I can only do one more fight, I'd be done. One of them said that a while ago, something of that nature. So I can't say I'm too shocked that they kind of faded away like that at the end. But the other sisters should be fine. They definitely implied that they were okay. They kind of vanquished the things. They were still there. They talked about how they don't have to talk like that anymore. And when they said that, I assume what they were referring to was like how Ritsu ends her sentences with nya, and the Rinas end their sentence use na a lot at the end of their sentences. Like I think that's what they were referring to there. But I don't know why they had to do that. Was that really connected to the red tree? I don't really fully get that. I guess it's supposed to be like a jokey type of thing, but I still don't really get the logic there. Either way. But yeah, at the end, this big old crevice suddenly showed up and they walked out of it, and suddenly they were like, well, I assume like actually on Earth itself, you know, not on the island. Which I'm not sure how that works unless the island like descended, because weren't these like floating a decent amount up above the Earth? I don't know how high up they were. Maybe it wasn't as high up as I'm imagining, but I don't know. It just seemed a little bit weird to me that they could just go through a crevice in the wall and suddenly they're like, you know, there on Earth. So the only way that really makes sense to me is if the island's like, you know, descended after everything was said and done. I don't know. I'm still a little bit confused on that bit, but it was definitely interesting being able to finally see all that, like, greenery and stuff in this show that's always been, like, metal and red fog and all that sort of stuff. We see the ground and running water like a waterfall and trees. Things we never really seen in the show before. So that was interesting. I think we're like on a mountain, are we? Because if so, that makes a little bit more sense. Because it's definitely looking like down at like a lake and stuff. So I guess it's feasible that the ship kind of landed to an island and just kind of stood there. In fact, now that I think about it, I guess it's possible that because you know, it could be like all on the ground. Like that's a possibility. You wouldn't really know it just by being on the island itself. So I guess it could have technically been just sitting on a mountain for a while because it ran out of energy or whatever. Because I don't really know how those work at all. So that's certainly a possibility. It's just been there for a while and they finally found like an opening to actually get out of the island. So I guess it's a possibility too. But I don't know. It's still caught me off guard a bit, I guess, is the point. But yeah, that was a really great view. Definitely. So much water. Because water's always been a very limited thing in this world, well, in the setting of the characters, like where they're at. Water's been very limited because they're on islands. They're mechanical, well, ships is kind of what they called it there, I guess. They've always called it an island. When did they start calling it a ship? I'm kind of wondering that. But anyway, the point is that water would obviously be pretty finite, but if you get the actual Earth, you know, where water's presumably abundant, yeah, that's a much bigger difference. So we should no longer have to really worry about that, honestly. And yeah, I think that's really all I have to say on this episode itself. So yeah, what are my thoughts on the show as a whole? You know, when I first watched episode 1, my reaction was pretty much disappointment. I did not like the fact that Wakaba was a part of this show, you know, because, like, you know, looking at the the cover art for the show, you have this one red-haired girl, and even on the character list on MyAnimeLIst, you really only have Rin, Rina, and Ritsu. So, you know, going into this, I had no idea there would be just like a main male character like that, and you know, you can say that's not a very big deal, but it does, or at least can, really change the dynamic, a character dynamic a lot when you introduce a male character into a predominantly female cast. It definitely does. So I did not like that. I didn't really want this to become some sort of, you know, harem rom-com sort of thing. You know, it was never going to be that much of a rom-com because of the setting, of course, but I'm just saying, like, some of those shenanigans could be a part of it. So I did not really want that to happen. And luckily, it did not go in that direction as much as I was afraid of. You know, so I was a little bit more worried than I needed to be about Wakaba. I still really didn't like him for a while because he was just such a, you know, a lame goober type character. Like, oh my god, look at all this stuff. Look at this view. Oh my god. It's just, I don't know, just, he always rubbed me the wrong way. You know, it didn't get as, it kind of, he became more tolerable as time went on. Partly because I got used to him, partly because he mellowed out a bit. But there was usually, like, little moments where I'm like, ugh, Wakaba. Why must he be so Wakaba-ish? But for the most part, you know, I got to tolerate him well enough. I still would prefer him to not be in the show, really. But then it would have been a very different show. Because Wakaba turned out to be more important than he initially seemed. Because we got the whole explanation about how he's an alien, which is funny. That's actually funny now that I think about it. Because when they first saw Wakaba, they accused him of being a bug, which he's not. And, you know, the audience was supposed to believe that he was just like a regular human, and, you know, the Rin girls probably weren't. But in reality, he is not a regular human. He is an alien that came here, and the Rin girls are, like, they came from a human that used Kemurikusa on themselves. So, yeah, I like how different things ended up being than they initially seemed early on. That was a nice touch, definitely. How they did that, subverting expectations in that regard. But it was also kind of funny because they were kept, Rin especially was like, look, can't we just, like, you know, kill this kid? You know, it's probably a bug or something, you know, that kind of reaction. And then you find out that initially these girls became this form to save Wakaba. So that's also kind of funny, you know, because imagine if they killed Wakaba there and then she discovered a memory leaf, like, oh, I really like that guy. Oh, crap, we probably shouldn't have killed him. Oh, well, you know, that's some dark humor there. But yeah, I kind of want to go back and rewatch the first couple episodes because I think I would have a newfound perspective on some of that, and it would be really interesting to do. But yeah, you know, and like I said before, I do like how the whole Rudy situation definitely gave some more context and why the Rin girls were as quick to like Wakaba as much as they did. Of course, only Rin really went for the full-on, you know, falling in love sort of thing. Everybody else just kind of like, and they just, you know, liked him like a friend, really, mostly. But still, more quick than you would expect for a complete stranger, you know. That's so different from you. Because up until now, these girls have only really known people that look similar to them, you know, they're red-haired sisters, you know, and suddenly they meet someone who's not female, not red-haired, not, you know, not anything like them. So, usually when you meet somebody that's, like, so completely different from you for the first time, usually that's a pretty negative thing, you know? People usually gravitate towards people that are more similar to them. And in a lot of cases, there will be some animosity or hostility towards someone that's completely different from you and something you've never even seen or heard of before. There's plenty of fiction get into that sort of subject. So the fact that they did get it as attached to him as quickly as they did, that could be explained with the whole lingering feelings from Rudy sort of thing. So, but Rain does seem to have gotten the bulk of it, because that's the only one they ever pushed as like a legit romance option. Everybody else is just kind of like, yeah, Wakaba, he's cool, we like him, he's fun, But Rain was like, oh my god, I'm blushing so much. Why is my heart going doki doki? Is he like poisoning me or something? Like Rain was the only one that really pushed that on. So I do think that's supposed to imply that she got the bulk of the feelings there, but also trying to imply that some of it is her own doing from spending time with Wakaba and developing some of her own feelings on top of that. So that's interesting, of course. And one thing that bothered me about the show initially, well, not initially, I mean, maybe initially, I don't remember exactly when it became a thing, but they kept referencing the other sisters a lot. I don't remember the names off the top of my head. I want to say Ryoku, and one other one. But the ones that were not on the show. I kept being a little bit annoyed that they kept referencing these characters that I've never met before. I know nothing about them. That bugged me a little bit. But, that was partially my own fault because for a while I didn't watch the little prequel things, which I should have because that would have helped. But at the same time, when I actually did meet some of those characters, it was a bit more, of a blind reaction because I never met them before. So, in some ways it's good to have not watched it, but in some ways it would have been beneficial. I mean, from a reacting standpoint, I guess it's beneficial to have not seen that ahead of time, but if you weren't reacting, it probably would have been objectively better to have just seen that beforehand. Unless you just really wanted their appearance to be a surprise in the show, which some people probably would, to be fair. But yeah, I eventually watched those and gave some context to some of those characters. And they also gave some context to the whole Rin situation of where she never found something that she liked. Because that was a thing that they talked about a bit in the prequels. And something they addressed in the main show itself, that Rin really didn't have anything that she liked, and that was supposed to be Wakaba, of course, so... Yeah, and the show even ended off on that line that her confessing to him, so... Yeah, I guess they live happily ever after on proper Earth with water and plants and their sisters and stuff. But it would have been interesting to see some actual humans there, like maybe some people swimming or whatever. That would have been interesting because that would have really shown the audience that there are people in this world, Because so far we don't really have any proof that there are. The show obviously presented itself as a post-apocalyptic world initially, but that was kind of revealed to not be the case once they talked about how, oh, we're just on islands. We're not on regular Earth. This is not what Earth has become. These are just specific islands up there. So that's why it's the way it is. So maybe there aren't people down here. Maybe maybe it really is a post-apocalyptic world. But if it's not, I would have liked to have seen people down there for sure. But yeah, the synopsis on MyAnimeLIst does not say anything about it being post-apocalyptic. I think that was always just a thing the audience assumed from watching it. The only thing the synopsis says is basically a science fiction action story. Girls that fight weird things called mushi, bugs, and survive in a world of red fog, But, I think they're actually Nushi. I think the only reason they call them Mushi is because Rudy called him Mushi. I think that's a thing there. But I could be wrong, but that's just kind of something that appeared in my mind. No, my voice is starting to go on me. But I think that's all there really is to say on the show. The show is definitely not as popular as it should be, because it's a 3D animation. The average anime fan just hates that like a vampire hates garlic. They're like, ooh, an anime about this stuff? That sounds cool. Let me watch a PV. Oh my god, 3D, my eyes. I'm blind. I must run away. That's what the average anime fan is like. And I've never really been like that. 3D has never really bothered me the way it does some other fans. It just doesn't. I mean, there may be like moments where some 3D thing is like so bad it's a little bit jarring, but in general it doesn't really bother me like the way it does some people. I don't get it. Really, I mean, I appreciate like good high quality CG, but it's not like bad CG, takes me out of it. Especially if it's like Kimono Friends, to where it really like owned that style of things, like it became a charm point of the show. Not every show can pull that off, but Kimono Friends definitely did, like Otter like flipping its stone back and forth. But and Kimono Friends also did increase my appreciation of 3D, because that show probably wouldn't have existed if 3D animation wasn't a thing, and Kemono Friends Season 1 was my favorite anime ever, so, you know. In this show, the 3D was definitely fine. Like, I had no real problem with it. It's obviously not as high budget as it could be, but that goes without saying. It doesn't have to be. Although Hoseki no Kuni was a good example of what high-quality 3D CG can be, an anime doesn't have to have the highest quality to still be good and enjoyable. That's kind of my overarching point. I feel like I spent too much time talking about that subject anyway, but that's kind of my main point to get from my rambling. But yeah, it's a damn good thing they had that blue, fishy water detector in Kemurikusa, because they probably wouldn't have found that water otherwise, because they just like did not notice that giant, huge, gaping hole initially, somehow. Let's see. Do I have anything left to say on this show? The world building was done well, but that's not surprising because Kemono Friends also had very good world building, so Tatsuki worked on this as well, so no real surprise on that. You know, really going with the whole show, don't tell sort of thing, which I appreciate. Although, because I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, sometimes I didn't fully get things right away, and I had to like watch it a second time or hear somebody else say it. But that's my shortcoming, not anyone else's. Sometimes I do wish I was more intelligent, but you gotta deal with the cards you're dealt, I suppose. I still enjoy anime, nonetheless. Yeah, I don't know if it was because I found out Wakaba was an alien and Kemurikusa is probably like alien tech, for lack of a better phrase, but yeah, that red tree really did come across very alien-like to me. I just don't know if that influenced that or not, but definitely did. Definitely did. And yeah, the show just was pretty enjoyable. I enjoyed our main cast of characters, at least the red-haired sisters, Wakaba, I just kind of tolerated for the most part. Although he did kind of have a bit of a spike of likability once we got the flashback and we got to see him interacting with Rudy and we got to see him be this, competent, although, still a little bit of a goober scientist and all that, working in his field and element, that helped a lot with likability for me personally. But still, he's at least a tier or two below the red-haired sisters on that for me. They were always fun characters. Ritsu, I always enjoyed her love of Midori. The Rinas, their silly group shenanigans with wanting to eat everything in sight. That was always fun. Rin was obviously the more calm, cool, collected type character, but she was pretty cool. I always liked seeing her fight, and how she seemed to always have a pretty level head on her shoulders, which was really needed for the group, really. But she also had her own insecurities and whatnot. I thought it was a pretty good cast of characters, with one exception. And I even like the sisters that didn't show up very much in the show. I wish we got a bit more of them. It really is unfortunate we don't get more of them, honestly. I like them a lot. And yeah, but the way this episode ended off, or the show ended off, I don't think we're going to get a season 2 to this. I don't think, yeah. It just really does not lend itself to that. You could technically be like, yay, season 2, we're going to live in the main world and we have nothing left to fight, of course, but we're still alive. We still get to do things. We can have a slice of life anime just living on Earth. You could technically do that, sure, but I don't think we would do that. Just suddenly, second season, it's a slice of life anime of just living on Earth and seeing how much better it is and living on the failing, dying islands / ships. I don't think that would be a thing. But yeah, so I don't think we're getting a season 2. We definitely don't need a season 2 at all. That's why I like these non-adaptation shows. Because with manga adaptations, light novel adaptations, they're usually ongoing when an anime comes out, so they're never going to have a real conclusive ending. But anime original stuff, they can. They can actually have a real ending, and it did. They got there, they defeated the final boss, they got to a place where they no longer have to worry about water, and they can live happily together, together with their sisters, and that's fine. That's a good ending. That's nice. So I definitely do like that about anime original shows, that they can actually have a legit ending. They don't always, of course. They can, but they sometimes don't. If they really want to milk a show for all it's worth, they can just keep it going forever, have an open ending like that. To where like, no, things are not truly over. But this show did, and I do enjoy that. I do respect that. Because a lot of shows, especially popular ones, it's always temptation to milk it for all it's worth for 20 seasons, but a lot can be said for just one core, 12 episodes, you told the complete story, and that's good. That can be enough. Although sometimes you do want more of the characters that you love, which is definitely a good counter-argument to that. But sometimes the show just has to end. Sometimes you just have to tell a complete story. Without a bunch of fluff. So yeah, I think I've talked about this long enough. It's a good show, definitely. Underrated for sure. I imagine, you know... I mean, let's see, what's the current score at? 6.79, yeah. I would like it to at least get above a 7. It deserves at least that, honestly. But, you know, it's sometimes difficult to do that with our 3D hating anime demographic that we have, you know. Yeah, I like the show. I like the show quite a bit. I was close to dropping it because of my Wakaba-related frustrations, but it's still a good show, you know. Obviously, my issues with Wakaba is a very subjective thing. It's not like an objective problem with the show itself, so I definitely wouldn't, criticize the show for that too much. Yeah, my voice is dying on me. I'm gonna have to end it here, so yeah, good stuff. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Cnouki for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.